Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com. Everybody,
I've missed you so much.
I have missed you all, most of you, all of you. How are you all doing?
I missed Mac and Jay Bates especially. I know you didn't, but I missed them a lot.
You missed them double so that it evened out.
That's right. That's right.
Welcome in Lee Riggins, Gary Zanstra, Adam Wolf, Bob Ellis, Michael Zakovic, Jay Bates, Mac Berkson, welcome in. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying your week back from.
Hopefully, I have all 10
4th
fingers.
Of July. That's I titled tonight's show. How many fingers did you lose?
Oh, that's funny. I see that.
Now I did not set off any fireworks this year. Did you set off any fireworks, Bob Cigar?
The only firework I set off was for that picture for the American. I used the cigar to set off the rocket, but that's actually a lie. I got some of that long fuse, nailed it to the tape, nailed it to the board behind it, made it look like it was the fuse lighting it off. As soon as I took the picture, I grabbed the fuse and threw it in the yard. So
little light and magic tricks.
Little smoke and mirrors, yeah. But that picture was banging.
It was.
I thought you took it. It looked so good.
No pun intended. Well,
yeah. No, it was that good.
Lee Riggins starting off first out of the gate. What's better, Connecticut or Pennsylvania broadleaf?
Yes.
I like them both. I think I'm more partial to Connecticut broadleaf, but I'm happy with both. Gary Zanstra likes the Pennsylvania broadleaf more. Mac Burton says, I missed you too, BTCG. J-Bait says, cue the Chief hating. 3, 2, 1. I never spring into action. That's it. Mac Berkson, BTCG was lighting up fireworks with the First Lady in New Hampshire. Please, Mac, we do not need a revisit of
New Hampshire, Vermont.
Jay Bates says he missed you as well. Bob Cigar Guy.
Canada. I love Jay Bates.
Adam Wolf says he lost 36 fingers and 35 and a half weren't his.
Well, that's okay.
So that means he lost a half a finger. Which finger was it? Which finger? Now, I knew you used to swim in those nasty creeks, behind the house down there in Florida. I didn't know they were filled with irradiated material and you sprouted fingers from all of your.
Oh, nice Fallout reference. The Gulper.
He's from Florida. He's a Florida man. I do want to give a big thanks to Charles Adamson, Michael Zakovic, and Jay Bates for hitting the like button over on Facebook. Do greatly appreciate that. Now, I do want to know, how was your 4th of July, if you celebrated? And 2, what are you smoking? What are you drinking? I am finishing up a Johnny Tobacconaut. This is the 660, the big boy.
Ooh.
But I will be lighting up soon the Saka Khan,
Ooh.
the Pappy to the Papa Saka. He said, just the tip of the pinky. Well, hopefully you can go Gadget and replace it with like a cigar cutter in there.
That'd be kind of cool.
Or a lighter.
That'd be even cooler.
I think he had a pair of scissors in his pinky and a lighter in his pointer finger. Maybe it was his thumb. I can't remember which one it was. We actually watched Inspector Gadget, like the one that came out in like 2000.
Oh,
like,
the movie with
not too
Steve
long ago.
Carell?
Not Steve Carell.
And The Rock?
No. That's
that was Gadget. Get Smart.
That's Get Smart, not Go Gadget, not Inspector Gadget.
That's Get Smart. That's Go Gadget.
No.
Oh, you're talking about with Ferris Bueller.
Yes.
Matthew Broderick.
Jay Bates, Chief, what is on your head? It's hot and humid down there.
His sister asked me that same question. Is that boy wearing a beanie? I said, I don't know.
Oh, you got the AC set at 62. AC is at 70. But I mean, sometimes you just gotta, go with the flow. You gotta keep repping the Carhartt.
In other words, he didn't get his hair cut this week at his beard person.
Got a lot of hair up here. It's expensive to get haircuts these days, man.
You ain't lying.
It's even more expensive when you got no money. Adam Wolf says, Florida man for the win. Dan Burns, welcome into the show. How are you doing this evening? Dan. How's the weather over there in the Pacific Northwest? Michael Zakvik's got an epic La Rubia and some moonshine. Woo! Dan Burns just home from work and it's been way too hot to smoke this week. What? No way. So last week, you were in like weather heaven.
It was nice. It was nice.
And we'll talk about your trip. We'll get into all of that. But I was in Satan's armpit of Myrtle Beach, and it was hot. And actually, on the 4th of July, the humidity was 87% with a feels like of 111 degrees. You want to talk about bad boy not being able to breathe? But I'll tell you what, I did get in a smoke. I smoked the Selección de Mercado Savage Feast.
All right.
I smoked the big boy.
Ooh. You pulled out the guns on that one, boy.
Yeah, I got 2 of them, and I gave one to Will McFall at the Florida Barn Smoker last year.
Wow.
And I smoked the other one on...
You ain't never going to get that again.
I'm not. So thank you, Mac Bergson. I was
Absolutely.
smoking with you. I actually smoked a regular Selection de Mercado the day before as well. I took the Selection de Mercado. I took the Selection de Mercado Feral Pig, and I didn't smoke it, but I took the Bacua. So I took 3 Drew Standard International cigars with me on vacation. Ronald Smith says, hello, Traveler's Rest from Michigan and the Road Dogs. Adam Wolf relaxed in the backyard with some cigars and some rum. I'll tell you what, Adam Wolf has been he's been putting down some cigars. Adam actually just moved moved into the town that my buddy who's in the Deadly Breakfast Club is in. And so they've actually been able to hang out up at one of the shops that's, I guess, close to Adam. But my buddy who's in the Deadly Breakfast Club, he shoots photos for them as well. So shout out to the Pipe and Pint up there in, what is it, Greensboro? Is it Greensboro? I don't remember what the name of the town is up there. Max says, missed it by that much.
Missed it by that much. That's the original TV show that used to come on every week. Get Smart.
Jay Bates has got some Rogue Citrus at the moment. Perhaps a little Papas Fritas later, Gator. Mac Bergson, that's BTCG's second favorite Savage Feast.
I don't know about that.
Adam was smoking an Avo Expressions with some blackberry lemonade. Ooh. Fancy boy. Jay Bates, oh, he's big, bad, and bougie. Did you smoke that fancy Savage with the beanie on? No, I was in the pool, shirtless. And underwearless. I had my swim trunks on.
Did you have your socks on?
Nope, I don't swim with socks on. That would be grounds for calling the cops and reporting a serial killer. Rick Carroll, thank you for hitting the love button over on Facebook. And Ronald Smith, thanks for hitting the like button over on Facebook. Appreciate you guys over there. Admiral says he lives 8 minutes away from the Pipe and Pint in Winston-Salem. Well, you've got to go to the Kindred Coffee House. I don't know if you don't Do you drink coffee, Adam Wolf? If you do, go to Kindred because Greg owns Kindred. I think with his mom. Um, Jay Bates says those poor kids. The kids love it when I'm in the pool because Daddy makes the big waves. It's actually kind of funny. So, for those of you who don't know, I am a co-youth leader at my church with another fella in our church, and we meet every other Sunday because our youth group isn't super big. And so we meet every other Sunday. And this past Sunday was our summer bash pool party. And it just so happened to be like the first time it's rained in our part of South Carolina for like months.
Ever.
And it was raining the whole entire time. And so I'm kind of the enforcer because a lot of people just don't want to be mean, and I don't mind being mean. So they were like, well, we should, probably wait for the lightning to clear up. And what do you think, Stephen? I was like, you got 15 minutes from a lightning strike to get in. So we had a lightning strike, count the timer, so on and so forth a few times. And it got to be where it got to be 15 minutes. And I told them at 14 minutes, I was like, look, when 15 minutes hits, you guys better jump in the pool. Because if at 15 minutes and 3 seconds, lightning strikes, you guys are out. So one of the kids was like, man, I really don't want to get in the pool because I'm the only fat guy here that's got my bathing suit on. I didn't have my bathing suit on because I had traveled up from Conway, from Myrtle Beach, to be there on time. So I had my swimming trunks in the car because I didn't unload it when we got home. I just dropped the family off and went to the pool party. And so I was like, do you need me to go get my swim trunks on so you don't feel like you're the only fat man here? He's like, yeah, I'd appreciate that. So, needless to say, I went and got my swim trunks. So, I went and got my swim trunks, came back, changed in the gazebo. And as soon as I came out of the gazebo, like 2 minutes after they had gotten in the pool, lightning struck. So, I didn't ever have to get in the pool, which was nice. Funny. But I did think it was funny. The kid's like, I don't want to be the only fat kid out here in swim trunks. I'll do it. I'll help you out, buddy. I do know about that. BTCG ranked it second, still crying myself.
Here's the thing, Mac. I got to tell you, I think it's an exposure issue. Not talking about Steven and swim trunks, talking about the amount of those cigars that I've smoked. If I had smoked, let's say, 20 or 30 of those, it may upset the apple cart. But since I had smoked so many of the
here and play the
American Savage
the
Feast,
sad music,
then that's probably the reason. So I'm always able to modify my opinions based upon my experience. But I'm just saying.
Tell yourself, sir.
I just did. You're too late. 15 minutes went off. Get out of the pool.
Animal says, I do. I'll definitely check out his coffee shop. They've put out some, like, their photos are really dope of all the stuff that they've got more than just coffee, right? They got like craft coffees. Mac Burks says, Adam, I used to live in Advance, North Carolina. My uncle ran the ABC store around there. Jay Bates saying, hi, Mac. Jay Bates told me he preferred the Selection de Mercado Savage Feast.
That's because he's got to keep his robe fixed.
I think I prefer the Selection de Mercado Savage Feast as well. Just because I feel like I could smoke that one back to back to back and not have a problem because it is a lighter smoke.
I can smoke Savage back to back to back to back. I can smoke 12 of them in Dallas in one day.
You also chew on barbed wire for fun. So we've got Adam Molkowski. Thank you for the love over on Facebook. Clay Murphy, thanks for the like over on Facebook. We're sitting at 14 on YouTube and 4 on Facebook. So we are at 18. We're not that far up. Now we dropped down to 16.
Now, that since I'm smoking a cigar with a very odd band that Stephen haven't asked me about, this is a good friend of ours, Gary Brooks, sent to smoke in and said, look, we need Bob the Cigar Guy and Chief to be in on the cigar social experiment. That's right. So Aganorsa, somebody got the memo before I did and decided to wear an Aganorsa shirt today.
I did not know that. I just wore the Aganorsa shirt because I try to rep my homies. It also makes my traps look really, really cool because I've been working on those a lot. So if you can tell, I look like the freaking Hulk over here. Lee Riggins, looking for a good Dominican Connecticut that won't break the bank. I've tried the curly head from Arturo. It's okay, but can be green sometimes.
Have you tried the crowns from?
He's looking for a Dominican Connecticut. He's looking for a real cigar.
There may be Dominican Connecticut in there. You know, every king needs a crowns.
That's good. That's good. David says, that's because you're a superstar, BTCG. Oh, fan club.
I think it was 14
Uniting
savages, to be honest.
Speaking of savages, you got to hang out with one of the coolest savages in the industry last
Oh, man,
week.
it was awesome. And we actually had a discussion. I got to hang out. Me and the First Lady were so graciously entertained at Casa de Saca in Dunbarton, New Hampshire. We got to go up there for fireworks. It was an amazing. I could talk for hours and hours on the amazingness of it.
Well, Chief Talk goes for two.
One of the things that excited me, but it's Chief Talk, not Bob Talk. One of the most exciting things I got to say is when the fireworks went off, Steve hand selected all the different fireworks, all the different packages, and his two sons, John and Stefan, actually did it. John did all the running and lighting, and Stefan did a narration, and it was hilarious. Every last one of the different series, like the Spiking Cobra or the Whizzy Bomb or whatever, he came up with this story, and evidently,
tell me you ain't got no whisker business.
you know what? I tried to find
Bombs.
that. I couldn't get the app. I couldn't get enough service to do that. But he, ever since he was 8, that was his job for the family, was to do these narrations, and he was just hilarious. And I got to sit down with Steve for a good while, and the whole family and all the Dumbarton crew. Great people. Never meet your heroes is what they say, but I got to tell you, there were so many heroes in that group. They are a pulled together group of people, and we are so like minded. But the thing that me and Steve did not agree on is I think lobster rolls are trash. I think that's ridiculous. $28 for some lobster meat stuck in a hot dog bun is just not what I call lobster. I just don't. But Steve loves lobster rolls, and so we just agreed to disagree.
Well, the thing about lobsters and crabs and shrimp is like they're literally the cockroaches and beetles of the ocean.
Way back when, the rich people would not eat lobster. That was given to the poor and the servants. And then they found out how good it was, and they flipped the script. Now, we had some lobster, the whole deal where it was cut open and there was seafood stuffing in it. And the First Lady had some oysters as well. It was an amazing dinner.
Oysters from up north?
Oh, my goodness. Cold water oysters are amazing. At least First Lady said. They were big oysters, and they were delicious from what she said. But
Matt Brugger, no worry, you're here just on time. Good evening. How are you doing?
As a South Carolinian gentleman below the Mason-Dixon line, I had to teach these Northerners, which I love to call Yankees, with love in my heart, how to eat their own food. We were doing.
To tell them how to shuck oysters.
We were at a lighthouse that you couldn't get out to, and we didn't.
Oh.
We couldn't get to
So
it.
you weren't at the lighthouse.
We could see it.
You were near the lighthouse.
We were lighthouse adjacent.
20 people.
So
gotta put it out there.
We were at a pier where the actual lobster boats come in. It was a working pier, and they had a little crab shack, little bitty lobster shack. They called it the chowder house, and we went to the chowder house, and I got some clam chowder because I love clam chowder.
So it was a clam house, not a lobster house.
It was a chowder house, but when you went in there, and it was just a regular little dive, they had a tank of lobsters right there, right next to the line. And if you said, I want a 1.5 pound, a 2.5 pound, a 3.5 pound lobster, the lady would pull it out. She'd throw it on a scale, dripping wet on top of that, on top of the.
So you paid for the water?
No, the water was dripping, but she said it's a 2.5 pounder. And you said, yeah, I'll take that one. She put it in a little croaker sack, threw it in a hot boiling water right behind her, and she was serving it to you. I mean, it was quick service. But First Lady, I got a bowl of chowder. First Lady got some crab cakes and French fries. Crab cakes were amazing. And the French fries were good. They were double fried French fries. I love me some double fried French fries. And as she was going to get some condiments after our food came.
Some what?
Condiments.
Oh.
Silly boy.
I don't know how they do things up there.
They don't do it like that. I don't know. Not that I saw.
They weren't rubbery?
No, they were good. That was funny, though. I was eating safe. But I took the French fries and I dipped one in the clam chowder and I put it in my mouth and I had figured out this was a culinary explosion.
Were they crinkle cut?
No.
Oh, so they weren't ribbed.
No.
Dang.
No.
Good one.
Nobody's comfort. So I grabbed a long French fry, folded it in half, made a shovel, and shoveled up some chowder, and put it in my mouth. And I did a video of it. And we were at Sokka's house, and we brought up that conversation. And every last one there said, I had never thought of that, but that seems like something I am going to try. I think Travelers Rest South Carolina has changed the culinary landscape for all the New Englanders.
There's only like outside of like Boston, there's like 702 people in all of New England.
Are you kidding me?
Bob Ellis, what are you talking about?
No, crinkle cut's good if you cook
love
them good.
This crinkle cut. Come on, baby. I mean, it's not the best fry. Curly fry, in my opinion, is the best fry.
And Canada has amazing poutine, but the city that we went to, no. It was Stephen. It was crazy. It was cosmopolitan, is what they called it. But literally, you had all these restaurants all over the place, and they had no seating. So what did they do? They took the road in front of them where you're supposed to park and put, honest to God, pallets down, made a floor, and then made a wall of pallets around, and you sat there while cars drove by you less than a foot away from where you're eating. It was crazy.
You had to, you go to another country, you got to experience the culture.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
You got to experience the culture.
It was something. Everybody spoke French. I went to the LCDH to get a Cuban cigar. The LCDH is closed. So then I went into another cigar store. Factory Smokes, $15. A Cuban Viejque, $450.
Woo.
Monte Carlo number 2. Monte Cristo. Monte Cristo number 2 was $175. Bob the cigar guy came home with no cigars from Canada. And they had them ugly green wrappers on each one of the bands, which I'd expected, but I did not expect the price.
You were Bob the cigar guy?
I couldn't speak French. They all speak French up there.
Je suis Bob the cigar guy.
I'm not going to nobody and say, I'm sweet Bob the cigar guy. That is not acceptable in San Francisco. It's not acceptable in Canada. It's not acceptable in Montana.
Dan Burton wants to know what the poutine is.
Oh, poutine is so good. It is French fries, not crinkle cut. It is French fries. They were like shoestring fries. They were small fries, kind of limp and then a handful of cheese curds, and then you put gravy on top of it. Oh my God! It was so good.
It does not sound appetizing, but also biscuits and gravy really doesn't sound appetizing either if you don't know anything about it. Is it brown gravy, white gravy?
It was pork gravy.
So like a tan.
And it was so good. The saltiness
I put pork gravy on mashed potatoes before. So.
Oh, it is so good. It is so good. Oh my gosh, it is so good.
Seems like I would have to probably double my heart medication.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Yeah, you oh boy, howdy. There was some gravy flowing through these veins.
MK Forgo says, "I'm not putting that in my mouth." Mine's Zach Fat biscuits and gravy. Adam Wolf doing his due diligence and making sure the bad guys are not saying bad things. Man, it was so good. Dan Burns says, "Ooh, you got him intrigued."
It was so good.
Mike Chandler, I got it at McDonald's last year when I was like, you can get McDonald's poutine into Mickey D's?
They said they had it everywhere. But we went into a nice restaurant that we sat inside.
You know what they call a Big Mac in Europe?
A Royale.
Royale with cheese.
With cheese, that's right.
Dan Burns says, good evening, but just...
No, it was a quarter pounder. It wasn't a Big Mac. It was a quarter pounder.
Okay, sorry.
You're making fiction of Pulp Fiction.
I haven't watched Pulp Fiction all the way through. I've just seen snips and bits of it.
We went to a store 4 stories tall, and when you walked in the first floor, they had Louis Vuitton, they had Gucci, they had Tiffany.
You guys went to Quebec, right?
Montreal. Oh. And you went up every floor, and it was still $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 dresses. $4,000 purses, all these others. It was really neat. But every person that was working there, they were snobs. They didn't want to talk to you for nothing.
Come on, guys. A Big Mac is a Big Mac. A quarter pounder is a Royale with cheese.
My man, Mac.
Brian saying I got to watch the whole thing. Charles Adams says I had a really good poutine and Whistler British Columbia, a couple weeks ago. Crispy steak fries, curds, and the gravy with bacon on top. Ooh.
It's so good. Oh, it's so good.
MK Ford goes, what the heck is everyone smoking? I'm smoking a Caldwell One Night Stand. I have the Saka Khan from Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust. Bob the Cigar Guy is smoking one of the
number
test
one
blends of the Smoke In Social experiment that they're doing to figure out which cigar they want to do exclusively with Aganor, so they're going to let the Smoke In Social people decide. I think it's really cool. I thought about doing it tonight, but because I talk so much and I don't pay attention to cigars while I'm doing the show, I figured I would do that at a later time.
Smart.
Bob Ellis says, I was in Indianapolis last weekend, walked right by Burn by Rocky Tell, and thought about you, Chief.
That's funny.
Thank you, buddy. I'm glad I was on your mind. What's that, Chief? You wanted to revisit the Shoshonic? Gosh, no.
We need to do that again.
No, we don't.
We need to give it another shot.
We don't need to. Bob Ellis says the One Night Stand is a really good stick. If anybody who's smoking something who didn't say what they were smoking earlier, I'd love to know what you're smoking. I know that we've got a few people smoking some stuff around. Michael Trindle got the Miquelita 60 by 7.
All right, you're gonna be there in a minute.
Is that the regular Miquelita or the Tricky Traco? Because I smoked the Tricky Traco one 60 by 7 last week.
That's a good size cigar.
It was.
That's an investment in time.
And I had to drink about a half a gallon of sweet tea with it. I was also in the pool, so I like smoking in the pool. It's
the ash in the pool?
Yeah. I get yelled at for it, but I do.
I bet you do.
Well, it's an above ground pool, right? But it's got a 360-degree deck all the way around. And half of it is like a long, 15, 20 feet of
lounging deck.
Width deck where they've got a table, chairs, lounge chairs, storage for pool toys and stuff. And then the rest of it is about 3 to 4 foot wide, so you can walk around,
catwalk,
jump around the pool. It's 360 degrees all the way around the pool. And I try to smoke over in a corner where I can flick my ash to, but of course the kids jumping in.
It's a round pool, Stephen.
Man, you know what I mean.
You'll hurt yourself trying to find a corner.
You know
in a
what
round
I
pool,
mean
Stephen.
when you can put a corner on anything, right? Just don't put baby in it.
Oh, that's good.
I know I am good.
You're on point today with Dirty Dancing and everything. You should maybe take a week off every once in a while.
But anyways, sometimes I would end up over on the big side of the deck where doing stuff with the kids or eating something on the side of the pool or whatever, and so I just whoop, and it makes that little the initial, and that gives you away every time. It's just loud enough for everybody to hear it, and so I get dirty looks. And the thing is the ash dissolves real quick.
So you should yell at the kids and say, "Hey!" and drop your ash.
Yeah. He's got the blue, nice, just the old Miquelita. But no, I got to beat the heat last week with the pool, and it was nice. And they installed some floodlights around the pool this year, so we got to swim at night.
All right,
that was fun. I now hold the record of the latest swimmer.
But now I had to swim with pants on or swimsuit on.
Every time I went in, I had to swimsuit.
You're telling me that late at night, you're out there by yourself, ain't nobody around, they've all went to bed, you slip into the pool with the lights off. And
they got cameras out there, man. They got cameras on every corner of their house. And, I just don't know if I need that being available for any cloud storage, anybody to possibly get a hold of that footage.
So in other words, you thought about it, you decided against it because
it wasn't cold enough to, say, oh well, can't tell. Charles has got the Romeo y Julieta Envy. That's the nice green band with the eye on it.
I did go in the pool on this trip, but I did not carry a Speedo with me. So, the Canada thing didn't happen.
Jay Bates says, yeah, take every few weeks off and let First Lady and Bob the Singing Guy run the show. Well, the thing is I still have to run the show when they're on it, so I'd rather not have to endure that.
I thought that was a great show.
I mean, it wasn't terrible. We started to trail off there at the end. Um, but it wasn't a bad show. People enjoyed it. You guys did hit 20. You guys kept the streak alive. Uh, that's nice. But no,
I'm glad we didn't let you down, Chief.
yeah, I'm glad you guys did a great job. Speaking of shows and streaks and whatnot, how about 2 weeks ago when we had Michael Giordano and Michael Giannini on? That was a great show.
That was crazy.
Really enjoyed having those guys on. Charles Adamson says, so hot here I had to move into the air-conditioned shop. Only way I can smoke outside is in the pool. I tell you what, I like having friends who have pools. I would not want to have to take care of one.
Too much work.
One of the fun things about the pool is they use their pool very lightly, just by themselves. But when we come for the week of the 4th, they are prepared. That pool is dialed in and it is ready for us to be in there. I'm sure it takes a month to recover from all of the jumping in, dirt, pee.
And then your kids pee too.
Yeah. Actually, Jackson's hilarious because Jackson loves peeing outside. He has fully understood the concept of I'm a boy, I can pee out of a distance. So he'll run up, stick, tallywhacker through the fence posts and you can hear it because he's 6 feet up in the air. And I'm like, well, Jackson, what are you doing? I gotta pee. Now, I don't know if he was drinking the pool water, but man, it was like every 15 minutes that boy was out there, peeing 2-3 cups worth of water. And Shepard, this was the first time where Shepard got in the pool and was happy to be in the pool. And you'd catch him over there going up and down out of the steps. He'd bend down, get a bunch of water in his mouth, and he'd spit it. Like, Shepard, stop it! Let's put in the water. Then I'd be sitting on the edge of the pool smoking a cigar, messing with my phone, and everybody's up eating lunch or taking a break, not being in the pool or whatever. Shepard come over there and he'd, what doing, Daddy? Smoke a cigar, splash me. Had a couple times where I had to. I tell you what, this was the only lighter I brought with me, and it got splashed a handful of times with pool water, and still working great.
Boy, how was it the first time it got splashed? What was Chief's face like?
Freaking out.
Real world testing.
Matt Burke says, sorry, my in-laws just arrived. I'll try to get on later.
Anytime you're with us, Mac, is a great time.
Let's see. Ronald Smith's firing up a hyena from Blackworks Studio.
And he's got a good smile.
Charles Adamson, Green Band with Eye. The Chief knows his stuff. Grimmel Frampton, what's going on? How are you doing?
Hey.
Jay Bates, pools are a pain. I don't miss mine except when it's hot and I want to float and smoke. But you got a little creek behind the house. You can just go lay in it. Pool or a creek? I'll take the creek all the time. I mean, it just depends. I mean, if you're going to, float down the creek, yeah, that's a lot of fun. But, I mean, if you're just wanting to sit around and relax and float and not have to worry about, where you're located, I love the pool.
What you're stepping on?
Now, I don't like public pools and all that kind of stuff. But I grew up going to the river. So it's one thing the Appalachian Mountains got. It's a lot of nice cold rivers all year round. Michael Zagvet says, that's a good smoke, Ron. MK4, I find the lost and found stuff hit or miss. Very few blends I personally enjoyed. Same with the main Caldwell lineup. I do appreciate them not using chemicals in their smokes. I'm kind of hit or miss with Caldwell. I found a pack of yellow cake last year or the year before, and I was excited about it. And I'll tell you what, it was trash. I mean, god awful trash. And Caldwell said he didn't understand why people wanted it back so bad because he didn't like the blend. But I completely agree with him. Not a big fan. The King is Dead was good.
Long Live the King.
I don't think I liked that one, but I did like the King is Dead. Um, Got to get me one of those lighters. Yeah, they are nice. They are wonderful, awesome, fantastic. I love it.
I've got one, but I haven't been able to use it because I've been trying to do the real world testing on this beast right here that we showcased the week before last. Yeah. And I've done put 14 cigars through this already, and it hasn't even lost any fluid. I mean, it doesn't look like it's got
It's
any
lost
fluid
some
gone
fluid.
at all. I mean, it doesn't look like it.
It's not a Bluetooth lighter.
It's blue.
Adam Wolf says pools are nice, but high maintenance and costly.
Agreed.
Lee Riggins, Bob, what crowns are you talking about? Diamond heads? No, he's talking about CRWNZ. They're kind of like Swisher Sweets. They're a cigarillo with a flavored tip and kind of aromatic-y type smell. But our boy Mac Berkson, he's big on he's big pushing the crown. So we love Mac. We love crowns. I'll tell you what, they do smell really good.
They do smell good.
Grandma Frampton, how do y'all feel about pipes? What kind
Love
of pipes? Wooden pipes? Steel pipes? Copper pipes?
That's my favorite pipe right there. That
I don't
rusticated
smoke.
poker.
I don't smoke pipes just because they are a lot of work. I'm sure they would be a lot less work the more I would smoke them. But every Christmas time we light up pipes, and that's about the only time I smoke a pipe.
I smoke mine in the winter. I usually don't smoke it
Yeah, yellow
summertime.
cake is trash.
Gary
Gary Z, floating on a nice slow river with a good cigar is great. I've floated a couple rivers. Most of the rivers I've floated, though, are pretty fast-paced rivers.
You've been on the Itch of Tucking, haven't you?
A few times, but that's a fast river.
It's
It's a
quick.
spring-fed river. That's
Yeah, it is 3 hours.
it's a
ride.
long it's a
3-hour
long ride, but it ain't
Crystal
slow.
clear, boy.
Ronald Smith, the Caldwell Mad Moto. Bob Ellis, I like the pepper cream soda and just the tip. I have a just the tip. I haven't smoked it yet. The pepper cream soda, I've heard people really like it, but I have not had that one. Suprema Tobacco, I believe, if he's still here, he's got a few Caldwell. He's actually the one who sent me the just the tip cigar.
Dan, I like Church Wardens. I've just never had one. That in the Calabash, the Sherlock Holmes looking pipe. I like both those pipes. I've just never been able to afford to get
If
either
I was
one of
ever
those
going to get a
pipes.
pipe, I'd want to get one that Christoph Waltz had in the Inglorious Bastards.
That's a church. There, that's a Calabash.
Charles Adamson says, pool is from my wife. I can take it or leave it. Nice for parties and really hot days, but yes, a lot of cost and work. I am my pool man, too cheap to hire one.
Pools are like trucks and boats. Everybody wants to use yours. Everybody wants to get in it, but nobody chips in for the maintenance and the work.
MK4 Ghost says, y'all got to try some Sanj Patel cigars. The Antra Charisma SP 1014 Black and Red. Fantastic smokes. We love the SP 1014
Black
cigar. We've had black and red.
Have we had red?
But we've actually met Sanj a couple times. Matty Rock is a great friend of ours who's big with Sanj. So we love the stuff that comes out of Sanj's shop.
He's a great fella too.
Yeah.
He's a neat guy.
Adam Wolf says pipes are nice, but he smokes the crack pipe. Ronald Smith got a cool Meerschaum pipe. Matt Brugger, is it ever really winter down there? Yeah. We get winter. It gets cold. It don't snow a lot. I mean, it might snow, right? Snow's going after a week, and we don't get snowed in often. It's very rare. But I mean, it gets cold. I mean, it'll get into the single digits and stay there for a while. We get ice storms often. So yeah, we experience winter. We're not Florida where we experience 55 degrees 3 days a year. But the end of December through January and into February are pretty darn cold.
Sometimes March too, yeah.
Supreme Tobacco says, I do. Grandma Frampton, you ever float down the Edisto River? Never floated it, but I've swam it a bunch. Supreme Tobacco favorite from Caldwell are the Anastasia, Long Live the Queen, Blind Man's Bluff Maduro. This is Trouble Edition. I knew that was my Caldwell man. But Caldwell actually got bought out by the guys who run Low Country Pipe and Cigar right here in the great state of South Carolina.
Really?
Yeah, they have a Drew Estate event tonight with Will McFall and Pedro.
Low Country Pipe and Cigar also does. What is the pipe tobacco that they own? They own a huge pipe tobacco
Sutliff.
company, Sutliff. Most of the blends come from Low Country, right out of Myrtle Beach.
He said he had the Anastasia Cartel today. Smoked 3 of them throughout the month. Terrible draw. Even my draw tool couldn't save it.
That sucks.
Adwell says, "Hey now, Chief. Last year Florida got down to 36 degrees."
I like to hear the stories of Miami as every once in a while when it gets below freezing, all the iguanas fall out of the trees. The fact that you live in a place where iguanas are living in the trees is just crazy to me.
I mean, it's tropical. I mean,
Yeah, but it's still.
Most of Florida is, tropical, right?
And then they got pythons or anacondas or whatever they got down there.
Pythons. I guess they could technically have anacondas, but I know pythons are like a huge thing down there. They're not supposed to be in the Everglades, but they're everywhere.
And they're invasive, right?
Yeah, and Scream Tobacco, that's unfortunate. Haven't had an issue with any of my Anastasias. Michael Trendle, have you had Room 101 Tobacco Knot? I actually was smoking one earlier.
Pre-show.
Johnny Tobacco Knot. Right there. It was the 660. Gifted by my wonderful friend, Photos de Puros, last year. Actually smoked. He gifted me a couple cigars. He gifted me an exclusive from Foundation called the Backstoppers, which is a cigar. I believe all the proceeds go to first responders. I smoked that last night over at my buddy Jamie's house, and then I smoked the Room 101 Johnny Tobacco Knot that he sent me as well today. So really enjoyed the Room 101 Johnny Tobacco Knot a lot. That made my top 10 list last year. Had an instant classic Lancero and booth face Lancero Eastern Standard blend, and now those were fantastic. I'm not a big Lancero fan, so
I like Lancero.
Bob Ellis is heading down to Panama City Beach in the morning. Going to spend a week fishing and relaxing
Sounds
on
good.
the beach. Ooh. You guys driving, flying? That's a long drive for you guys. Adam Wolf says they have both pythons and anacondas. You know what they say? Anacondas don't want none unless you got buns. Huh? Lee Riggins says, have y'all had the Room 101 Miami Snow? I haven't,
not.
but I know my boy Supremo Tobacco has.
I have not.
That's a cool. It's got the iconic Miami orange, green, and white label. It's a cool looking cigar band with the Room 101 flower, and then a secondary band that says Miami Snow on it. It's a cool looking cigar band. Driving about 10.5 to 11 hours. Ooh!
Miami Snow doesn't melt. You know that, right?
Never touched it. MK Forghost wasn't a Lancero fan either until now. Flavor Bomb Vitola, don't sleep on it. I don't mind the Lancero flavor profile so much. It's just such a quick smoke. I mean, I love the L40, right? L40 is a fantastic cigar.
Phineas Gage.
Really enjoy that cigar. Phineas Gage is good. It's not, but it's my least favorite of the H99 series. But it's tied with least favorite. The H99 Phineas Gage and the H99 Papas Fritas. Probably Papas Fritas is my least favorite because it's an even quicker smoke.
It is a short smoke.
I agree with Adam Wolf. Safe travels to Bob Ellis and his family driving down. Scream Tobacco. I haven't had a boofy face in a minute. Might need to pull one out the Humie soon.
Do it.
I hadn't even heard of it. Room 101 is a brand that I've gotten into in about probably the last year and a half. Other than like the what was it? The Osaka stuff.
The Payback.
Yeah, the Big Payback and the Osaka. I smoked a couple of those. Big Paybacks were cheap.
They were.
And so I really liked the artwork on them. The Big Payback box was actually my first ever humidor. I got a Big Payback box for $2 at a local cigar shop, and I filled it with a whole bunch of cigars that I had, and I had one of those crystal gel containers. And I would fill it up with my distilled water that I had in the refrigerator, and that's how I. It's actually on my original Instagram. I've got a picture of me using that.
And now you've got 2 floor to ceiling humidors.
I mean, they're shared. So, but yeah, the Big Payback was actually my first ever cigar humidor, which is kind of cool.
And you now have a grown up humidor at your house.
I do. The humidor that you did the buying your humidor off Facebook Marketplace now resides at my home in my closet, and it is full to the brim. But it's awesome because now all of my cigars are mostly in one place. I've got a few that don't fit in there or in other desktop humidors. But yeah, I do have a big boy humidor in the house now. Plus, obviously, everything that we have here. Rick Carroll smoking a Muwat. Found a few in the back of my humidor.
Wow.
I was never a big fan. I was never a big fan of my Uzi weighs a ton. I would have loved to try a Big Payback Maduro when he was with Davidoff to compare the blends. Ricky smokes. Hey, fellas, any experience with Sancho Panza? If so, what do you recommend? I've had a couple from Sancho Panza. And I don't remember which ones they were, but they were in the middle of the road. They weren't bad, but
That's
they
general,
weren't.
right?
Huh?
That's general.
Yes.
I think the blue band, blue and
And
white
Sancho
band is my
Panza,
favorite.
I believe Boofy has revitalized the blends for Sancho Panza. Michael Trindle, Big Payback is fire. Scream Tobacco, the lounge by my house has the OGs in stock. Not sure what they're going for, though. Probably a nice little pretty pig. I gotta go far back, like almost 10 years on my Instagram here. No, not that far. Is it? I'm getting there. I know I'm getting close. I think I've actually showed this on the stream once before. We talked about the cigars that you could see in the photo. We were trying to figure out which brands were sure. I think they're a brand that doesn't exist anymore. Probably most of those cigars that were in there are brands that don't exist anymore.
Possibly.
Because they weren't fantastic smokes, so to say.
They were part of your journey.
They were part of the beginning of the journey. Oh, so you can't even see that it's the Big Payback box, but that's literally it right there. It's just a box that held a lot of cigars that ended up holding a bunch of other cigars.
I see a Nat Sherman in there.
Possibly. Yep. 2 Nat Shermans. And some nubs on the top. So, I don't even know if I smoked half of those cigars. Not sure.
That's funny.
The new Sancho Panza Double Maduro is middle of the road, in his humble opinion. Adam Wolf had a few Sancho Panza. They were decent, but not too memorable. Of the revitalized STG brands, Los Stados Deluxe, in my opinion, reigns supreme. I am excited about the new purple one that's come out or is coming out. I liked the original one. I was not a big fan of the blue one. I think that's Maduro. Not a big fan of that one. But the original one, which I actually have one right here. Ta-da. Really enjoy that cigar a lot, actually. They lack flavor, consistency, and construction. Wasn't great. My experience was off 2 boxes purchased in the Robusto size. I mean, hey, I trust your opinion. Again, for me, Thank you to Chad Carpentier and Christian Albert for hitting the like button over on Facebook. Um, I've not smoked enough of them to say, oh yeah, I should really go back to that cigar.
Right.
Um, Bob Ellis, for cheap beach sticks, Havana Q or corn? I'd say Havana Q.
I too. And Havana Q is great because the bag is actually a humidified bag. And so it's real easy to get into entry level, and you want to buy more than just whatever sticks you get and smoke at the lounge. You can actually buy yourself a bundle of 20, take them home, and you can keep them without having a humidor or even having a box that you put humidification in. It is, it's a real entry level step, and it's a good solid smoke. Um, the Havana Q is solid. I've liked it for years and years.
But yeah, when it comes to Sancho, I'm not your guy to talk about Sancho Panza. Uh, Now, budget sticks. I mean, I would always suggest factory smokes.
Absolutely. Unless you're in Canada where they're $15 a piece.
Louisiana, down in New Orleans, the shop had them for $15 a piece. Uh, Maybe you were just paying the tourist price.
Evidently, there's if
Well, the Canadian dollar is cheaper than the
no,
American dollar.
that was with the conversion.
Oh,
Yeah, but come to find out, if you're a citizen, you don't have to pay that extra tax. And somebody in the comments said it was a 200% tax. And so some lounges do just for citizens,
tourists.
But all the cigars were so expensive. I was surprised though. You went into Canada, and you hear the stories about all the non-American places used to be 80-90% Cuban, 10 to 20% New World, which is anything but Cuban, and now it's completely flipped. 75% were New World, 25% were Cuban. It was interesting to see. Lots of brands were represented, not just a couple. It's probably 20. Well, it's probably 40, 50 brands represented.
MK4 Ghost, what smoke have y'all had this year so far that stands out? For me, I have two as of now: Crown Heads Maduro, Coronetta, and the Umagog Bronzeback. So Umagog Bronzeback is my number one cigar of the year so far. Number two is the new Wise Man Maduro from Foundation Cigars. They redid that blend, so it's new. And then the Coronetta Maduro is a really, really solid smoke as well for me this year. A couple other cigars that I've smoked this year that I've really enjoyed. Let me go back to my camera roll.
It's hard to remember everything you smoked, isn't it?
Yeah, just because I've smoked a ton this year, and I smoked a lot of new, and I've also smoked uh, the new Cuba Nicaragua from Aganor Salif was really good. Really enjoyed that cigar. I said the Bronzeback. Bronzeback's my favorite cigar of the year so far. What else? That's not a new cigar to me. The H. Upman Barber was actually pretty good. I enjoyed that cigar a good bit. Like I said, I'm going back through my camera roll here. Um, the new Don Pepin Garcia for this year's release, pretty darn good cigar as well. The My Father Fonseca, first time I ever smoked it was this year. Really enjoyed that cigar. Um, the first time I ever smoked the new Jester from Artesano del Tobacco. Pretty good cigar. I can see it making a top 20 at the moment.
It was all right.
Trying to.
It was not an El Pugo.
It was not the El Pugo. El Pulpo. There are other cigars that I have smoked that are not in my camera roll. They're over on my Instagram. Let me come over here and take a look. Take a look. It's in a book. Chief's Instagram. The new Robusto size of the Sin Compromiso is pretty darn good. I like that cigar a good bit. A cigar that I smoked this year for the first time was the Unleashed 3 from Camacho. Pretty darn good cigar. I think it's pretty much I had the Postani Connecticut. I think it was. That was a good cigar. First time I had that cigar. I have a whole bunch of cigars from PCA that I've still got to smoke. Just haven't smoked them yet. Um, we're halfway through the year, so I've got about half of my list probably picked out at the moment. I mean, technically, if I had to start right now, I have 20 cigars that I could do, but I'd rather not. My option of factory smoked Maduro is my yard work cigar.
Good stick.
I hate smoking anything really good on the beach. With that wind, they burn so fast. I think that's in response to Supremo's Umbagogs. I'd hate smoking Umbagog on the beach too, especially a bunch of them. I'd rather smoke those like on the balcony in a screened-in porch, right? Little the Tatawahe Kojonu 2012 really impressed me. Dan Burns says the Leather Rose line is new to me, and I really like them.
Fantastic.
Leather Rose is good. The whole Deadwood line is pretty enjoyable. Charles Adamson, is this the 2024 halfway top 10 list? I guess, kind of technically. Supremo Tobacco, Unstolen Valor, the Eleanor Rose, Oliva Black Swan, Los Estados Deluxe Limited, or LE, the Bronzeback, Wiseman Maduro, the FSG Maduro. Sean Crawley, what's going on? How are you doing this evening? What are you smoking? What are you drinking? I would love to know. Dan Burns, Unstolen Valor, and the Bronzeback are on my list to try next. Yeah, I would say definitely go ahead and get that Bronzeback before you do the Unstolen Valor. Because I think Unstolen Valor is a great cigar. I really enjoy that cigar. But the Bronzeback, that might be the best cigar Saka's ever come out with. Well, I don't know. Papa Saka, that's probably the best cigar he's come out with. Which I'm enjoying this SakaCon, but the SakaCon's got some age on it now. I guess about a year now. But Papa Saka was my number one cigar for last year. Really enjoy that cigar. Bronzeback and the Wise Man Maduro from Foundation are fighting for number one for me right now. Ever? Wow, that's high praise. I mean, obviously, palates change and you like things that are heavier versus things. Because, my favorite cigar from Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust for the longest time was the Todos Los Dias. And one thing that I always found funny with Saka is he would always say, if you find the person who loves Todos Los Dias, they don't love the Brulee. And it's like, okay, I love both of them. There are some cigars from Saka that I'm just not a fan of, like Naka Tamale, not a fan of at all. The Now Leave Me the Heck Alone, not a fan of it either. What else? So there's another one. Oh, Red Meat Lovers, the new one. The original Red Meat Lovers, when they were like limited releases from Smoke Inn, I enjoyed those. But the one that's currently available nationwide, I'm just not. I've had, I think, 6 of them now, and every single one of them I've like put out halfway through the smoke. Just not a fan of it. And which is weird because I am a huge box press and trunk press fan, and those cigars are trunk pressed. But I did see that Saka has got, I think he's working on 2 or 3 cigars right now. Which obviously they're always working on new cigars, right?
Right.
But he's posted 2 here recently. One of them is the European release or the non-American release. And then the other one was that Black Angus. Do you see the band work for that?
I did.
That was awesome. That was really cool.
And that's only halfway done. It hasn't been stamped. It hasn't been
MK.
Coded.
I am not a big fan of the Palpetta.
I like the Palpetta.
I have got to be in the mood for a Palpetta.
It's spicy.
It's
peppery.
Is a pepper-heavy cigar. And
yeah,
I'm just
it's gritty.
not a big pepper-heavy fan.
It's gritty.
No.
It works because it's small.
Dias is gritty.
It works because it's small. Well, it's gritty and peppery.
Yeah, I would never want to see a Palpetta in a bigger Vitola.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of smoke.
Anything bigger than a Robusto would be, I think, way too much.
But I think the reason Palpetta is the way the Palpetta is I believe that it's tobacco's from the smallest leaves at the top of the plant, and you couldn't make a bigger cigar out of that. But the toppest leaves of the plant are the last ones pulled off the priming, and they get the most sun, and so they're the thickest and the most grittiest.
Okay, we
and the
all
most
didn't get to
black
hang out with
pepper-ish.
Steve last week. Shut up.
I knew that before. We didn't talk
Bob
about
says he'd take
polpettas.
the Todos Los Dias over the Brulee.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I would. I do. But that doesn't mean that I don't love the Brulee.
And the Brulee Blue and the Wagashi?
The Todos Los Dias was my favorite cigar for the longest time. But Papasaka and Bronzeback, man. That Bronzeback, the regular Umbagog is something sweet. It's a great cigar. It's a fantastic budget line. You know, it's the cheapest cigar, you know, that Saka's put out with Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust. And it's a good cigar. I love that cigar. I know people use it as a yard gar. I think it even though it's a yard gar price, I think it's better than a yard gar.
Yeah.
But the Bronzeback, ooh, you talking about it hits every note that is needed to take the Umbagog to a stellar smoking experience, in my opinion. I think it's only $1 more expensive.
It is a matured Umbagog.
Yeah, the new one from Red Meat Lovers was the beef stick. That's the one that went national. I'm not a fan of it. Like I said, I've had 5 or 6. I think it's 6 of them that I've had. No, it's 5 that I've had because I have one more. That's my 6th one. And I'm just not a fan of it. The FSG Black Angus, that is a beautiful looking band. It is. It's awesome. I love all of the Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust bands outside of like the DTT EX, 48 or whatever. MK felt the same about it. Animal says, one I'm really looking forward to is both new Las Calaveras. Oh, yeah. But new Las Calaveras or the Coronetas?
There's a new Las Calaveras with a multicolored band and box.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, it's all over the place colors.
One cigar that I've found myself really enjoying here recently is the Mil Diaz out of Crown Heads. That's a really good cigar as well. Bobo's bought a 10-pack of the 2023. I love the Bronzeback Vitola 5x48. Fantastic. And that's another great thing. It's a great Vitola. I would love to have the Bronzeback. I would love to see what it's like in a 6x60. I'd love to see what that would look like, what that would taste like. It probably doesn't work, but I don't know. I feel like I just want to chain smoke those things when I have the chance to smoke them because they are just so good. Like if I would have gone to that 4th of July thing last week with you up there and you'd have had a table of Bronzebacks.
Oh, he had, and it was rough for me because I just wanted to put him in my bag and take him home. But he had different. He had a table with different cigars, and I had brought some of my own, and so I was smoking my own Bronzebacks while I was up there. And he had a bundle of them, but they hadn't been opened, and I was waiting for somebody to open them up because I was going to grab one of those and smoke them as well. But I ended up doing a Red Meat Lovers. I ended up doing a Sober Mesa. I did a Bronzeback. I did a couple others. I don't even remember which ones I did. We probably smoked. When Steve Saka says he smokes 10 cigars a day, that's an understatement. He was firing them jokers up, boy. I tell you what, and smoking them down.
I'm sure it's a nice time for Steve to let his hair down. I mean,
it was
as far as down as it can go.
And we didn't take any pictures. I didn't ask to do any interviews. I didn't ask him any hard, deep questions about blends and stuff like that. I just went up there and was just.
Which I knew we talked about it before you went.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm not going up there to take any videos or anything, which is a great idea, right? I mean, you got a open invitation after a stream one night, and Mom bit the bait, and y'all did it. I mean, I'm excited you guys went. That's really awesome. Did you get to go to Lake Umbagog?
I was going to get some pictures of Lake Umbagog, but come to find out, Lake Umbagog is 4 hours away from Dumbarton. And so I said, okay, before we go see Saka, let's go to Umbagog. And we put it in the phone, and Sarah goes, that's another 3.5 hours away. I said, oh, we're scratching that. And so that was one of the things that if I ever get a chance to go back up there, that's what I'm going to do. But as far as content, to sit in his house at his dinner table and prop up my phone and do a video with him just talking, that would have been, you talk about some exclusive content.
I'm surprised you didn't try to go poop in his house so you could say, I thought about it. I did, but I didn't have to pee. I didn't. Sometimes you just got to go pretend.
I almost want to get lost and just kind of wander around and see things, but I'm like, I'm a guest and I'd like to come back again.
Find out if Steve has a fancy water fountain in his bathroom.
Right. And no.
Animal says this year's Crown Heads is releasing 2 blends from Las Calaveras. One is the yearly release. The one is an anniversary blend. So Crown Heads is coming out with a lot of blends this year. How about that? Dan Burns, it's been like 5 years since the last time I had it. My father's. Don't remember which one it was. He said that he needs to find some of my father's cigars. So I would definitely suggest this year's Don Pepin Garcia. That's a fantastic cigar. Really like that. The Fonseca was the first time I smoked one was this year. Really enjoyed that cigar as well. Bob the Cigar Guy, how was his humidor? Everything hopes and dreams were made of?
It was a dream of me. When I walked in there, I was looking to see if there was a humidor I could look in. And he excused himself to go to the humidor one time. I didn't know that's where it was going, but he never invited me to go look at his stuff, and I just didn't. And I was like, man, I wish the opportunity would have arose where I could have went in and looked at, because he tells the stories about how he had a box of cigars that were super aged, that were extremely expensive, and you could never get again. And his father-in-law, he sat down and smoked one with his father-in-law, and then he went off for 2 weeks to Nicaragua. When he came back, his father-in-law said, hey, you need to get some more of those cigars. I loved them. And it was he smoked through the whole box. And he goes, you know what? He told his father-in-law, he goes, those cigars cost a bunch of money, and I'll never get those again. And he goes, well, you're sleeping with my daughter. And he goes, fair. And so, I would have liked to have gone in to see what other gems he had sitting in his humidor, but I was being a kind guest, and I did not wander. Yeah, it was the right thing to do.
The Judge, I haven't had the Judge, but I've heard good things about
the Judge. Is good.
I have a Judge, I just haven't smoked it.
The Judge is good. The band is gorgeous.
That's one thing I love about my father is all their bands are
good. Oh, their bands are amazing. You can get lost in the details.
But yeah, I was hoping that, I know Will McFall had a bunch of events down in the Conway Myrtle Beach area in July, and I thought when he and I had talked about it at PCA that it was going to be the same week that I was in Conway. Come to find out, it was the week after I was in Conway, because he's got like 4 events down there, and I would have loved to have shown up to every single one of them. I'd have bought cigars on the first one and then just gone to smoke. Just hey, how you doing? All right, see you tomorrow. Jay Bates says, I love that story. Every time he tells it, I could listen to Saka for days.
And here's the thing. Saka is such, in the whole group of Dunbarton, it's a very small group, but they're like family. They really are. And Cindy is so kind. She spent a lot of time, her and Yvonne and Sarah, they were thick as thieves hanging out. And Steve is just laid back and a fun guy. He really is. We talked a lot about dude stuff, about how he built a couple sheds at his house, which they're not sheds, they're nice. And he said, he likes tools. And I'm like, I like tools. And he said, I did a floor in one of my closets, and I went and bought a floor nailer. I didn't need it, but I got it. And I said, yeah, you go in there once in a while, you look at it, you say, I got that tool. And he goes, you're exactly right. So it was really neat to see that we G and Haw and so many other things. It was really, really nice. It was really, really pleasant. It felt like you didn't have to have your guard on. It felt like you could just be yourself and hang out, and he was doing the same. It was very enjoyable. I really, really do appreciate it. Now, the time I got to spend with the First Lady on this trip was some of the best times that I've had in forever. We just got to be us. Bob the Cigar Guy was not on that trip. Even at Saka's house, really, it was just Bob and Sarah, and we were having a great time. It was wonderful.
Yeah, my Facebook got hacked. Dan Burns, if I can find those 2, I'll get them and try them. Thanks for the heads up. Hey, that's what we're here for. That's what Chief Talk is here for. Make sure you get the most bang out of your buck. We'll let you know what we think. But no, it did hurt my feelings this year to not light off any fireworks. When we go down to Conway, I like to, because I'll call them my in-laws because they're like my wife's second parents. Every time we go down there, where they live is out in the middle of nowhere, absolute middle of nowhere. And so
with a big field right across the street.
Fortunately for us, a bunch of the other neighbors were reckless and spent a lot of money on some good fireworks, so we got to watch their fireworks. But I tell you what, I do love lighting off fireworks. One of these years, I do want to save up a whole bunch of money when it comes time for fireworks and just buy a piss ton of them, and actually take the time to try to make my own fireworks show. I've been because I couldn't light fireworks this year because I wasn't doing fireworks this year. I just watched a bunch of guys on YouTube making their own like mortar cannon setups and whatnot. It's so cool. I mean, I'm usually just light one, try to light the second in time, and run.
And so they were setting it up with fuses and everything where we just
go
one after another.
Oh, they built these like 2x4 cradles, and they bought PVC tubes and capped them off at the bottom, and they made these whole entire like diorama things where you add on a fuse to like a sparkler that only goes up maybe 10, 15, 20 feet or whatever. And so that goes off, but at the same time, it's just launching 2 or 3 mortars at the same time. And so you pay attention to which ones you put. So you'd have like a red and green one over here, one that's got a smiley face, and then one that's got like a double popper on it or whatnot. And, you know, fireworks, you spend so much money for a 5-minute show, right?
Now your mom did use the word pant ripper on a couple of the fireworks. She goes, "Oh, those are my favorite. They're the pant rippers." And nobody up there had heard of that before, and that I think is now in their vernacular, which they thought was hilarious. But great fireworks, great time.
I always think back to Joe Dirte. You ain't got no bum whizzers, whisker biscuits, whisker do's, whisker don'ts. I always love that scene in Joe Dirt. But no, it was a good week. I definitely needed it. Nice to be down there. It was hot, but like I said, we had the pool. You know, it gets hot here, hot down there when there's no wind.
Still hot.
Boy, you talking about hurting. I mean, I was walking around the day we left this past Sunday, just walking in and out of the house, putting stuff in the house to the car and going back and forth, just walking 30 feet both ways. I was in full-blown sweat just because of how humid it was. It wasn't even that hot. It's just humid.
Did you get the swampy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy. It was funny. Second to last day we were there, Jackson experienced scalding for the first time.
Oh.
He was like, Dad, I got a rash right on my bean pouch. I was like, well, go get some powder.
Get some cornstarch.
But no, it was good to be down there and relax. It's always nice to go down there because while things are like in where I live, it's still slower than like the big city. Going down there, it's like slow. So everybody moves slow. Everybody talks slow. Life is just slow, and it's nice. It's a nice little break from the hustle and bustle of Greenville, Greer, Travelers Rest. Obviously, I'm sure a New Yorker would look at me and be like, "Yeah, you don't know nothing about that." And hey, more power to you.
Right.
You just see New York for the first time ever is implementing big plastic trash cans people put their trash in.
No.
Yeah, because New Yorkers just throw out trash bags out onto the road, and
there's big piles of them.
But the trash crews have to come through and just pick up trash bags. And so now New York City is implementing that they actually use plastic bins for their trash.
You got to wonder how much money it costs the state of the city of New York to.
No, you know how much money they make in taxes?
Yeah, but you think of how many people are in New York. That's a lot of garbage cans. Wow. I'd love to have that contract and be a garbage can maker.
Mike says it's 116 in California.
Move.
Yeah, but what kind of heat is it?
I don't care. Move. 116. I don't care if it's dry.
It was
I don't care if it's
114 in Vegas last year, and then we walked outside, and it was like, it ain't bad.
Yeah, but you don't remember we were at that outdoor cigar lounge, and they had misters spraying moisture on everybody, just trying.
Yeah, but even walking to the cigar bar, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's hot, but like if this was 114 degrees in South Carolina with humidity, you'd be
swim.
dead.
You'd swim.
Yeah. Our mayor in NYC solved the trash problem. Dude is such a clown. I thought some of the comments and reactions from it have been hilarious, though. With like everywhere else uses big plastic trash cans to throw their trash into. New York's in the places you can go to where it's just trash bags thrown out on the street. Which when I've been to New York a few times, New York City a few times, and I don't ever remember seeing like a bunch of just trash everywhere. I mean, dirty streets and all that stuff. Nothing's been dirtier street for me than New Orleans.
Absolutely.
That's the nastiest streets I've ever seen.
Black mold on all the concrete.
Kevin McGuire, Bob, I'm in Tampa now. Haven't found an apartment yet. Just got here last night, but I finally get to catch it live. My hosts are watching TV, so I've got the volume low. I can barely hear.
Welcome home.
But we will speak up for you. Dan Burns says we've had 107 temp and humidity at 40. Our humidity is at 40 in the wintertime. That's the one thing about the South that sucks. It's just the humidity, right? And the saying, it's not the heat, it's the humidity that'll kill you. It's not an exaggeration. I mean, it is life-taking.
Now, I will tell you, in New England area, there is no real humidity, even though they were complaining about it. But they have 27 species of mosquitoes up there. 27.
Yeah, but like how many species of mosquito are there here in South Carolina? We don't care about species of mosquitoes. We just got mosquitoes.
And it was funny talking about locusts or cicadas. They didn't know about cicadas until we started talking about the bugs that scream.
I figured they would know about cicadas because
they call them something different.
They're at the top of the Appalachian Ridge.
They call them something different.
Appalachian Ridge. Ever since I came back from Iraq in 2010, I can't handle heat. My kids don't want to move. Oof. Charles Adamson was in Folsom. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would not. I'll tell you where I will never want to go ever is Phoenix in the summer.
See, I'd like to go to what is that? Death Valley. That's in Phoenix, right?
No, Death Valley's in California.
I'd like to go to Death Valley and camp out for a week and smoke cigars. Ooh. just to say I did it at 120 degree temperatures and stuff.
You're a little old for that, there, Bobby.
Tells good stories.
I was watching a video the other day about some place, I think it was in New Mexico or Arizona, where it's the hottest ever ground temperature recorded. It was like 202 degrees.
That'll turn sand to glass, won't it?
I mean, 212 at sea level is boiling temperature. So, but
fry an egg on the sidewalk.
I wonder. You know, people always say it's hot enough to fry an egg, but then people go out there and they try to fry an egg and it just doesn't do anything.
Right.
It's like the difference between a stovetop and a sidewalk is, even though the sidewalk is extremely hot, it's still nowhere near close enough to fry up an egg. Michael Tindall says, "No, you don't." He says, "You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Sounds good on paper. Don't do it. You'll die."
If you're dumb, you got to be tough.
And that's the scary thing about the dry heat is it'll dehydrate you so fast. Animal says, "I agree with Chief. The humidity is what kills you. It does take me longer to start sweating here in North Carolina versus Florida." Boy, talking about some heat. I mean, anywhere coastal in the South is hot. Florida's hot everywhere just because it's Florida.
Coastal.
I tell you what, I do not miss my days playing football in 96 degree weather at 9 o'clock at night and 85% humidity. I do not miss that at all. That make a man like Mulan. That make a man out of you. That is miserable. I mean, the joke is, it's so hot out, it's so humid outside, you got to breathe through a sponge. Sometimes it really does feel like that. Kevin, I visited Tampa Sweethearts today and picked up a Diamond Crown Maximus.
All right.
Other tasty treats. Nice. Florida cigar scene is divine. Dang, is it humid and hot there? Yeah, buddy. I mean, I would love to do like a cigar scenic tour, like Tampa to Miami.
Like a bourbon tour, but for cigars.
Because Tampa's got, J.C. Newman. I think the Davidoff headquarters are in Tampa. Um, Speaking of Davidoff, our boy Zeno Law going to be starting his tour here soon, the summer tour of Zeno. You guys saw that on Chevette Report today.
Got that big yellow bus.
I tell you what, that's a really cool. I don't know if you went and looked at the article or
No.
not.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Bob.
I haven't seen it.
You should go check out the article on ChevetteReport.com. It's the only link in the description. There's actually some pictures of the full experience. There's a video too that I almost included, but I didn't want to spend the time downloading it on my computer and uploading it to the website. Adam Wolf loved the Florida cigar scene so much he moved.
We've been invited down.
Yeah.
We've been invited down to the mini PCA sponsored by Quality Importers. I'm going to be. I figured out the dates on that. I'm going to be in Europe.
Are you?
So if anybody goes, it's going to be you going solo.
Woo! That's my birthday weekend.
So we're about to start barn smoker season.
Yeah, barn smoker season starts up
less
August
than a month.
10th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the barn
less
smoker.
than a month.
For anybody who's going to the Connecticut barn smoker, I won't be there.
But the first lady will be there.
Bob the cigar guy and the first lady will be there. I will not be there, but my daughter starts school.
Priorities
that week. So it's also the first week for school. My wife's a school teacher, so it's kind of a hectic week. So I will be at the Kentucky Barn Smoker and the Florida Barn Smoker this year. So if you're going to the Connecticut Barn Smoker and you were expecting to see me, I'm so sorry that I'm not going to be there. I actually didn't learn until this week that school started that same exact week. Kind of stinks, but family comes first, baby.
I'll smoke some cigars for you while I'm
Kevin McGuire, La Farona Cigars. You got to talk to the lady at the next PCA. She goes there. Awesome cigars and in shapes I've never seen before. Texas Taurus has got the Acid 20.
Great stick.
Ooh.
Talk about a good box, bro.
He says he's enjoying it.
You ever watch any of his little lives he does on YouTube?
Mm-mm.
They're fun. They're fun.
No, the Acid 20, that's a cigar I haven't smoked in quite a while. Ybor City, Cigar City. No, Acid 20, that's a good smoke. That's a nice little respite smoke from the regular cigar line. I said this probably a couple months ago now. I've kind of deviated away from smoking the acids
Infused.
And the flavored stuff. Not that I don't like them, I just find myself really craving traditional style cigars.
I tend to reach for the infused line in the summertime. I don't find myself smoking as much in the wintertime for some reason.
Supremo Tobacco wishes he was going to Barn Smokers this year. First time I ever met him was at the Savage Feast. I think of that time fondly. Actually, I'm so mad at that time, Brian, meeting you at Savage Feast because I didn't know you very well on the internet, and so I didn't take the time to sit there and hang out with you. I mean, we hung out a little bit, but we didn't do a whole bunch. And so this year at PCA, we obviously made up for all that, hanging out, getting barbecue with you and Mike. That's my favorite part of the. Actually, it was funny. We were playing. Speaking of that, we were playing a card game on the way back home from the beach on Sunday. One of the things my oldest son, likes to do is play games in the car. We play all sorts of games. I Spy, try to say the same thing at the same time. Just a whole bunch of games. Well, one of the games we decided to play was what is your favorite or what is your least favorite? And my daughter ended up asking the question, what has been your favorite part of this whole entire year? And of course, my daughter's memory, she's 4. My daughter's memory memory span is about that of a goldfish. And so anything that's just happened recently is her most favorite thing. So The fact that she had a fun birthday party with a pony and she had to paint the pony, that wasn't her favorite thing. Her favorite thing was riding in the car with mommy and daddy to the beach. But my favorite thing of this year, and I'm speaking directly to Brian here, and if Mike was here, my favorite thing of this year so far has been hanging out with the both of you, eating barbecue at PCA.
Oh,
Charles Adamson says, "See you at Kentucky this year."
not the quality time with Shannon Jade. Not being able to spend time with your children.
I mean, those are wonderful things.
Just not the best.
I walked over a grave right there. Adam Wolf says, one of the only things I miss about Florida is the cigar scene. Dan Perk smoking Aganorsa Leaf Rare Fusion from Smoke Inn. Nice. Speaking of Aganorsa Leaf, Bob, you were smoking the Aganorsa test blend. How did that go?
I was. It's very
The first one.
heavy. Flavors aren't that heavy, but the vitamin N had me swimming.
Uh-oh.
It was rough. Now, I've been reviewing cigars all day, so I'm already on 10 or 11. So that might have something to do with it. But now, meeting all the guys from Deadly Breakfast Club that I got to at PCA was awesome. I mean, those fellas are amazing. And y'all G and Hall so well. I know I took some time to pull away from y'all just so that y'all have y'all young boys time and hang out and go down the main road and get where did y'all leave?
In and Out.
In and Out. No, Whataburger?
No, In and Out.
Went to In and Out.
We're getting a Whataburger.
And got to have all that great time. But I'm not gonna say jealous, but I was happy that you had a group of guys that you were hanging out with and y'all were just having such a blast, and that I was allowed to be a part of it a little bit and hanging out and asking questions and especially in the nights we were doing the show. So
Mike Zakvek says number 3 is his favorite. I haven't smoked them yet. I contemplated smoking one of them here on the stream tonight, but I knew that I wasn't going to pay attention to it very well, just because it's been 2 weeks since I've seen you guys. It's Chief Talk, do a lot of talking. So I want to smoke something that I knew I was a good cigar, not really going to pay a whole bunch of attention to it. So I'll be taking these home with me tonight, and I'll be smoking them over the next few days, as long as the weather's all right. Actually, today was actually a pretty nice day.
it was a nice day, especially in the morning.
I actually cut a whole bunch of branches down off of trees around the house, so it kind of allowed the air to move through my backyard a little better. So, yeah, I took down about half of an invasive tree. So,
Sounds like a good day.
yeah, what? Well, my garden is popping off right now, man. When we left for the beach 2 weeks ago, a week ago, whatever. When we left for the beach, we had harvested a cucumber and a bunch of beans and took them down with us to Conway. Actually, we harvested 2 cucumbers. And then we had a couple tomatoes that were starting to pop out, and then my arugula was just starting to kind of come up. My spinach has done nothing. I just think I got some dead spinach seeds. But my cucumbers really weren't doing a whole bunch. We came back, and I had like 6 cucumbers, and 2 of them were over big. So I actually brought those over here. My mom she's going to try to pickle them. So she's going to try to turn those into pickles. We'll see how that works out. But since coming back, I got tomatoes everywhere. I got a bunch of beans. I got a bunch of arugula. I got a bunch of cucumbers. So Chief going to be eating a lot of vegetables here soon. Streamers Back says, it was a great time, Bob. Honestly, it felt like a family reunion hanging out with cousin Chiefy, Uncle Bob, and Nick.
I agree. It was a good time.
Yeah. Definitely my favorite part of PCA. It's just like with Barn Smokers, though. It's like my favorite part of Barn Smokers is just hanging out with people. And so PCA is the same. Knowing that I was going to be able to hang out with you and Mike was my big exciting thing for PCA. Honestly, obviously getting to see Mac, getting to see the rest of the Deadly Breakfast Club, getting to see some people in the industry, Steve Stock, everybody at JC Newman, Fabian from Aganorsa. getting to meet some people that I knew we had never met before, getting to see some people in the industry that we met last year. We got to meet again this year. Really cool to see those guys, but that was definitely top of my list, was getting to, hang out with you guys. The only thing that would have made it better is if you'd have been at the same hotel as me and Mike. We'll make sure that's changed next year in Louisiana.
We had a great hotel too. That hotel was practically perfect for what we were doing.
Oh, absolutely.
That was a fantastic hotel.
I mean, the only thing that could have made it better is if they'd have had
a casino.
No, not a casino. Just a roulette table. Just one. Actually, I've been watching a lot of guys in Vegas over the past few months playing. Was it Blackjack's 21?
Yes.
Yeah, playing blackjack and then playing baccarat. So
Boy, don't you start riding down that hole.
I think I like.
If you try to cash in your plane ticket, I am not buying you another one.
I think the next time we go to Vegas, I might try one of those card games. So. Just once, just to say I've done it.
You can't do that because now let's face it, you got up high on roulette, but
yeah, I did.
You put your first money down. You had $100 to spend, and you blew that in one or two rolls, and then you walked away and you came back and you said, "Oh," and you pulled out a little bit more money, and you ended up parlaying that into some good money. But if you start getting on blackjack, I'm afraid you're gonna be like, "Oh, I'll just play one more hand." Yeah, I met my cap, but I'm gonna do a little bit more.
Yeah, but I don't take any extra money with me, so it's not like I have a casino card or it charges my debit account, or I take a bunch of cash that I shouldn't be taking with me. Like, we play safe.
Yeah, but you might take your Rolex to the pawn shop and pawn that.
I wish. I ain't got nothing good enough to pawn except the camera.
Better not.
Screaming Tobacco said, "Yeah, we'll fix that for next time. Smoking editing sessions every night."
You could shave your beard and sell your hair.
Whew. I am ready to get this thing cut, man. Speaking of cut, Barber and Cigar hadn't been on here tonight.
No.
Blackjack and poker for me. I taught my boys how to play because I learned from my dad.
All right.
No, I've kind of learned like when to hit and when to stay and all that kind of stuff. Like when you get to certain numbers, you don't hit. But I also know it, like the serious players, and I would want to just play one hand and see what I did. I don't want to try to go on some streak or some run or anything like that. I just want to play one hand, and I'm going to expect to lose because people around you can affect what you're going to do too. Like if somebody's hitting too many times or they get blackjack, and there's a smaller chance that you are going to get a card that puts you at 12, right?
Right.
And so it's like, oh, I'm at 12. I've got to stay because I know if I hit, I'm going to get a face card, right? And it's going to put me at 22.
Right.
And so you got to hope that the dealer busts. Oh.
No, I'm going to stick with roulette.
But if you get blackjack, it's 3-1.
Roulette has the best odds. 49%.
No. Baccarat has the best odds.
Yeah,
Baccarat is the only game.
Yeah, but you can screw up at Baccarat so many ways. It would be user error that would cause me to lose.
Well, Baccarat is the only game that charges a house commission on your winnings. Yeah, because you can play either player or banker, and when you play banker, they take a 5% commission off of it. Kevin says always hit on 12. I probably would.
I ain't gonna do it because I know me. I want to keep playing.
Shave the beard. Blackjack is fun. That's what I play, but only machines. See, I don't want to play machines because I feel like, and dealers obviously. I've been watching a lot of things like how dealers can casinos are shady, man. I was watching a video.
Are you kidding me?
I was watching a video about how casinos will have a camera that looks at the deck, and they have an earpiece in their ear, and the casino's telling them, okay, don't grab the first card, grab the second card.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
They can grab those cards in a way where they will pull the second card.
No, there's
and
no cheating in casinos in Vegas.
They will pull that second card, and they can bust you. Like they are that good.
No, I don't. I know they're a straight up game of chance. They don't ever cheat.
Lee says, when I was 22, I lost $500 in 30 minutes at the blackjack table. Never again.
I hear you.
Look, I started with $100 this year.
150.
Got up 150.
150.
Was it?
You put 100 down and lost it all, and then you pulled 50 out your pocket.
Did I?
Yes, sir. Because you walked away. You busted after 2 spins.
Maybe I did. Well, anyways, I got up to $700, and then I lost it in like 4.
It just ran right away. And it was funny because all the guys, the Deadly Breakfast Club, Mac Bergson, were all over there. And so Steven came up to the table when I was playing. And so we started playing opposite of each other. He'd play black, I play red. And it was, all the young guys were cheering for Chief. And I was getting the shady side. But then Steven started winning a whole bunch, putting $100 bets down. And I wanted to lose.
I put two $200 bets down.
I wanted to lose. I wanted to lose because I wanted to see Steven win and make his money. So,
Well, I got it to $700, and my goal was to get to $1,000, play $50, try to win that one, and then put the $1,000 in my pocket and just play with that $50 until it just ran out. And I never got to $1,000. All right, close.
It was a good run. It was
awesome.
It was fun. We were there for an hour. It was hilarious.
It was awesome. Well, I kept getting nervous because that girl came over and she was placing stuff all over the table, and it didn't really affect what I was doing, right? I was just going black or red,
right.
black or red. But I was getting nervous because she was putting out a bunch of stuff and she was winning, and then I was like, oh my goodness, what am I supposed to do here? And then I started just double guessing myself and trying to go
she was putting like $500-$600 on table every time, but she was only there for about 30 minutes. She ran through.
But it was fun. I can see how people get in trouble gambling. My heart was it was going. Kevin says, I'm no expert blackjack player. I hit the tournaments and won quite a few. I'd say you're an expert and won quite a few. I do both games in machines. Took $3 one night, turned it into 300 bones. Woo!
And one of the guys was holding, because you can't, where there's a dealer, you can't smoke cigars, which sucks. And so Steven had just fired up a cigar and he handed it off, and the guy had to stand there for like an hour just holding Steven's cigar like this, just and then a little while later they had these little, you pay 25 cents and play a game, and Steven goes, Dad, give me $5. And I gave him $5, and all them boys ran off like they had just won it. Oh, let's go play some more. Let's go play some more.
Right. And he started out with I think it was like $2 he started out with, and he ended up going up to like $40 or something.
And they just had the best time. It was hilarious watching them.
Just cheering each other on and having fun. Bob, I think you knocked this boy on his noggin one too many times, the beanie, and now he thinks he's a gambler. I got caught counting at an Indian casino in Washington. Sucked, never went back. I don't do roulette. It's a lot of fun. The roulette stuff is a lot of fun.
It just feels like a classy game. That's why I did it the first year, is because it just feels like, elegance. And I wanted to sit there and smoke a cigar, and then they said, you can't smoke cigars here. And I'm like, really? Well, you can do it on those machines over there. I'm like, man, I ain't doing those machines over there. I want to sit at the table.
I watch people do those machines, man, on like TikTok or YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, but they don't show you the 1,000 times they lost.
No, they do. It's a full video of them sitting they live stream it for hours, and you just sit there and watch it, and they'll win $70,000 on a machine, but they put in $55,000.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
ow.
Next time we go, my goal is not really to win. My goal is to be there long enough that the people that come around offering shoulder massages and offering free drinks, I want to sit at the table long enough to get a shoulder massage and a free drink. Well, that was the thing that really pissed
me off too, is because last year when you were at Vegas, when we were at the Venetian, you sat down for like 2 rolls before I started playing, and somebody came up to you and asked you for a drink, and you got a drink. Mom was sitting down at a little, Plinko machine, whatever. She got a drink offered to her. I go and sit there and go and win $200 or whatever it was. Nobody ever came around. I cashed out, right? Nobody came around and said, hey, you want a drink? So this year, that was my goal, was to play at the table long enough to get a free drink. And I played for over an hour and never got a drink.
And here's the thing. What happens if they ask you for your drink and they wander off for a while and they come back, and if you're not playing anymore, do they just not give you the drink?
I don't know. I never got offered a drink. The 2 casinos in our area used to have a section for smokers until the governor made sure to put a stop in casinos. It sucked. And that's the thing, is like I don't play the lottery. I do scratch offs every once in a while, and that's because you got to pay with cash. I don't ever carry cash. Any Hoosiers. We've got Cherokee just up the road where you've got Harris Casino. There might even be another couple casinos up there. You can go down to the like Charleston. You can get on some of the casino cruises where they take you out past the international line or whatever it is, and you can play casinos out there. Like, I have no desire to gamble except when I'm at PCA. And somebody told me that you can gamble in Las Vegas or in New Orleans. So, heck yeah.
Just going to New Orleans is a gamble. Stay off Bourbon Street.
They brought me a Mike milk and soda.
Me and Mike milk.
Oh, me and Mike milk and sodas. Milk, whole milk. And that's the funny thing, is they were sitting at the machines and they weren't even playing. They were just talking. Here I am, $700. I ain't nobody coming to check on old Chiefy. Dang terrorists.
It's rigged. They were getting your money. They didn't.
But I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. The guy who was
hilarious.
doing the spinning, he was a total D-bag, but I'm sure he pegged me as a tourist who'd never done it and probably said, I don't really want to deal with this guy. So he kept yelling at me the whole time. But
don't touch a table. When I put this thing down, don't touch a table.
I keep winning, and I didn't collect my chips. He's like, no, put your chips back. I was like, oh, God. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I had asked him, I said, so what's the deal? Because they'd put this little peg thing. No, they had the glass thing down. But after a while, they would kind of wave their hand over the thing, and I thought it was part of it. So I just started waving my hand after they did, and it looked at me like I was stupid, which they're right. And then
I told the guys, like, man, I don't ever come out here. I'm sure, people who are trying to get one over on the Vegas tables probably use it as an excuse. I was using it legitimately. I just wanted a drink. The guy was biased. He was jealous. He was like 4'2". Kevin says the riverboat cruises or casinos in New Orleans, they use different rules in Vegas, and it's harder to win. Chief wasn't showing enough skin because the ladies had no qualms with. Yeah, next I have to continue bulking up and wear my wife beater.
Yeah, I can see you get one of them 80-year-old ladies with the Pall Mall breath going, hello, Sonny. You want to make $1 coin?
Give me one of those chips. I'll show you how to make it disappear.
Oh, God.
No, ma'am.
I got your slots.
I don't like to fish. But no, that's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing that. But it's definitely like we go into it with our $100,
knowing we're gonna lose,
knowing we ain't getting our money tonight.
No.
Last year I got up to. I put $60 in, and I ended up winning 140. So I had $200. So I walked out because I was like, God, just get me off the table. Yeah. Well, my second go around at the table, I got up $200 quick, and then I got up to $400 quick, and then I was like, let me play a $200 bet, and it hit. And I was like, I can be this guy.
Nope.
Quickly reminded that. Nope, you are not that guy.
It was funny. The year I was doing good 2 years ago, when First Lady and Shannon Jade went, I was up to $400 and change, and Sarah's like, "You better stop." And I said, "No. There's no story in winning $400. I got to get $1,000 or bust, and bust I did."
Yeah, like back to back.
That was because I kept letting. I pointed Steven and Shannon and Sarah, and I'd say black or red every time. Steven's name came, he gave me the wrong color. I think he did it on purpose. I don't know how he did it, but I think he did. He was jealous. So, and then he turned around and sat at the same table after I was done, and picked up money. But he bought me a Diet Pepsi, so I was good.
What we got to do is we just got to play at the same time, and you bet one color, I bet the other color, and we just do it the whole time. And so one of us is always going to win, one of us is always going to lose. So if I win big enough, then we split the cost, and it's like, hey, we made out both. Split it.
No. Because my luck, you'll win once, and I'll lose, and then I'll win once, and you'll lose, and we'll just slowly whittle away our money to where both of us walk out broke.
Yeah, because my stupid self would get up to $600 and say, "Well, let's all put it all on black," and of course it'll hit double green.
It'll hit double lots.
I don't understand how these old. I do chasing that high of winning money, man. I could see. I see how it is dangerous.
And they get serious. They touch the different parts on the screen.
I'm glad that I didn't have like some
Gambling
casino
bug.
room card or
it'd be easy to do.
Loaned $100,000 to go do because loan sharks would be after me.
It'd be easy to do.
I'd have to go live up in the mountains. It's just the cost of your entertainment, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's entertainment for them because their families don't visit them. I mean, I'm sure that's a real addiction out there. Bob's blue hair slot lady impersonation. I went to Atlantic City once, gambled a little, and said, "F it." Went to the Tropicana Lounge, got a drink, and smoked a stogie.
There you go.
Diana says, "I tried not to lose money." We go into it with a set amount of cash, knowing we're going to lose it at some point.
Right.
But we don't take a whole bunch of other cash and say, "Well, if I lose it, I'll just play this cash one time." No, we just.
That's it.
That's the cash.
That's it.
That's it. We're not hitting any ATMs. We're not doing any of that stuff. It's about the safest way to gamble other than not gambling.
Right. I lost $100 the first time. I lost $100 the second time. PCA is going to be in New Orleans for the next 2 years. If we go to Vegas the third year, I'll spend $100. Eventually, I got a chance of winning. I'm not quitting until I hit 1,000. And when I hit 1,000, that's going to be the hard part. Is where, do I just double it? Do I double it? How good of a story would it be if I made $2,000? How good of a story would it be if I lost $1,000 in one roll?
If I hit that $1,000 and I told myself, okay, just play 50 and then just play with cash from there, play with that from there, I probably would have gotten a little bug in my ear that said, well, if you play 500, you're still $400 up.
Right.
Just play 500.
It's only $100.
Just
I only spend $100.
Just play $500 and see if it hits, and then you're up $1,500.
Right. Then that's a story.
Then take that $500 and do it, and then it's just like, what if I put $1,000 down?
Ooh.
What if I get up to $2,000? What if I put $2,000 down?
Yeah. And when you put a $50 chip down, you're like, man, that hit. If only I would have put all my chips right then, I would have won. This is the time. I got to do it.
That's how you get you. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do.
They know what they're doing.
They don't have clocks in there. Do you know that? There's no clocks on the floor. It's all darkened out, so you can't tell when the sun comes up.
Well, you can't see the windows, so you don't know if it's daytime or nighttime, how late it gets, and all that kind of stuff. But luckily, we're surrounded with a lot of people, and we have a good head on our shoulders not to just blow a bunch of money. Go with a limited amount of money.
Absolutely.
Yes. But we are right here at 10 o'clock. Thank you for we've held over 20 people for a good long time.
Time flies.
Kevin McGuire, thanks for hitting the like button over on Facebook. And Christian Alvord, Chad Carpentier, Clay Murphy, Ronald Smith, Charles Adamson, Michael Zachvik, Jay Bates, and Adam Wolf, and Rick Carroll for hitting the love button over on Facebook. Definitely appreciate that. Everybody who liked over on YouTube, I'm sure all of you did. Thank you all for hanging out with us over there. Glad to be back. Now that we're back to our regular schedule, hopefully we'll start getting some things lined up to have some people on again here in the very near future.
By the way, I don't think we talked about it. When we had the big Quality Importer show, they were going to do a giveaway of one of these gorgeous lighters, and they decided they were going to brand them with Bob the Cigar Guy on one side and Chief on the other. Don't know what color they're going to be. I don't think it's this color, but you're going to be getting one of these if you're one of the winners. But the thing is, there were 10 people who could have won in the spinning wheel.
Did win.
And he said we was going to give away one. After it was over, he goes, you know what? Let's give everybody one. And so they've got to take time to get those branded and everything else, but those are still in the works. When they come to us, they will come to you. And if you missed the Quality Importer show, if we ever have another Quality Importer show, I can't speak as a matter of fact about it, but I'm kind of comfortable thinking that there will be some serious people extremely happy after the show is over the next time they come on, because I think they like to give stuff away. So if you see them coming on, you might want to be on and be a part of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Kind of surprised us. We thought we were just going to have one winner, and they said, you know what? Everybody who entered, you get a win. So a lot of fun. Like Bob said, we don't have those in yet. When we get them in, get them to you guys. I know none of you guys are going to beat down the door asking for your free stuff and wondering where it's at. It'll come whenever it comes. So thank you all for hanging out with us. I want to thank our show sponsors, Drew Estate, obviously, sponsoring the show every single week, along with Quality Importers through Zycar. If you didn't know, if you go to Zycar.com and you find yourself a nice cutter, lighter, Travador, cigar ashtray, whatever it be, and you want to get yourself 15% off at checkout, use the code Chief Talk, all one word and capitalized, for 15% off your checkout order. So if you do that, we don't get any kickback from it, but we do. They see that the code is being used, and they see that we are a profitable venture for them, and definitely appreciate that. They got all sorts of stuff in all sorts of colors, blue, J-Bates. But thank you all for hanging out with us.
And if you want some high quality branded gear, pretty cheap on this side. Bob Scarga on this side. You get in a Travador, you get it in the cutter, you get it in a lighter. We have them if they can go to where, Chief, and get this stuff.
The only link in the description, ChevetteReport.com. At the top of the page, you'll see the merch tab. And the merch tab takes you directly to our sales website, where you can buy a cutter, lighter, Travador, or a full entire kit, which comes with a free cigar stand. So thank you all for hanging out with us this week. Love you all, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye. Which one am I going to play? Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com.
Time to relax. Whew. Man, I'm beat. Whew. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Show's over. Go home. Go home. Show's over. What are you waiting for? You waiting for another show? This is a one-ticket entry. Go. Bye. Go. Go.